Most of the intelligence community doesn't believe he exists. The ones that do call him the Winter Soldier. He's a ghost. You'll never find him.
I joined S.H.I.E.L.D. to protect people.
Captain, to build a better world sometimes means tearing the old one down. And that makes enemies.
He's fast. Strong. Out of mental harm.
Are you ready? All it takes is one step.
People are gonna die. I can't let that happen. Captain America needs my help.
When do we start?
We just did. The price of freedom is high. And it's a price I'm willing to pay. He told me not to trust anyone. This is how it ends. Everything goes.
Looks like you're giving the orders now, Captain.
Damn right.
How do we know the good guys from the bad guys?
If they're shooting at you, they're bad.
I really like the way this film is coming together. It's one of my most anticipated films personally of 2014. I think that it's going to do so much if it succeeds for the Marvel brand because it's, not only a comic book movie, but I feel it has, very obvious espionage elements, but also it plays into, war films. It feels very 1960s to me. A lot of that was a great time for Cold War films. I think I like that element that's there, and I think it has the potential to reach out to perhaps like baby boomers and older moviegoers who grew up on those other films and maybe haven't been quite brought into the, comic book film genre yet. And I think this could potentially bring them in. The people who like Tom Clancy novels, that kind of viewership. This is the movie maybe that Jack Ryan needs to be these days. This comic book movies are so popular. And Jack Ryan, of course, just crashed and burned at the box office. So we'll see how this one does. Captain America is a tough character. He's a little like Superman in that, he has to be so on the straight and narrow that it's a little bit hard sometimes, I think. I think the right writer could pull it off, though, but Hollywood has struggles with these kind of characters. So I think it's good that they're giving him a team. I like that this is building into a team film, because I really like the team that he is putting together. I love Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow. I think she does a phenomenal job in the role. I'm glad she's getting a bigger role here. More to do. Of course, if anybody knows the Winter Soldier storyline, she ties into that heavily, so I'm glad it seems like they might be honoring that. My only problem with her in both trailers I've seen, the wire work that's done on her is very sloppy. They're like, no, that's how she jumps. She can glide, apparently. And I'm like, no one can glide unless you're the Falcon, obviously Anthony Mackie's character, and you're wearing wings. So that's a little frustrating to me, especially since, the Avengers handled her, her action scenes really convincingly. But speaking of the Falcon, I think Anthony Mackie looks great. I'm glad they're building his character up. It looks like he seems to be like he's going to be another great, valid member of the team to stand alongside Black Widow and Hawkeye. A S.H.I.E.L.D. Operative, not a full-fledged superhero, but he looks like he's doing a really good job. I kind of didn't like the line where, he's like, how do we know who the good guys and the bad guys are? And, Captain America gives the obvious answer. And also, I also didn't like the exchange of when do we start? And Captain America's like, we just did. I'm like, those are a little too old school lines, a little hokey. I would like some more sophisticated writing, and I think a lot of people would. And I saw some comments of people going, "You're promising me a dark and gritty movie, Marvel. You better deliver." Someone actually mentioned the Iron Man 3 twist, but that was a little bit goofier, I think, than people had wanted. But I think you have to remember that Marvel feels that's their trading card, bright and happy. So you're going to have those elements. Hopefully this will go a little darker, and it seems like it is. But I think that Iron Man 3, if you ask the people who made that, Shane Black and Kevin Feige over at Marvel, they would feel it. That went to some dark places, and it certainly, did. Tony Stark genuinely was in danger. So just, temper your expectations with that in mind. You're going to have a mix of tone for sure. But what I'm excited about, as I said, is, the bringing in the elements of espionage and war and those Cold War films, bringing that back into modern movie making by adding it to the comic book genre. Now, I can't really talk about the actor playing the Winter Soldier. I mean, if you're familiar with the story, you know who it is, but I don't want to give a spoiler. But if this actor can pull it off, I will have such infinite respect for him. It's very low right now. I'm not a big fan of this actor and the work that he's done in the past. I'm trying again not to give it away, but he looks pretty good here. And it looks like he's going to have some very good action sequences. Except when he kicked that one pilot into the plane. I was like, well, that's not his metal arm. Can Captain America do that? I mean, it's going to be tough to make him seem like this super soldier as well. But still believable. But I like the way this movie's coming together. I like the themes that they have. I think it's important for a movie to work at multiple levels. They're asking this question about, American might and power, and if they're fear-mongering, which I think is an actual real-world question that a lot of people have about the United States. So to see all of that come into play is very exciting for me. And everything I see about this movie continues to get me excited about it, and I don't see any missteps. There's nothing that's giving me pause. I'm very excited for it, and I hope, my only concern, I guess, it isn't too old school for the main movie going audience for comic book movies. I hope they're not like, what's all this Cold War political talk, boring, and they check out. I hope that they get the good balance. We talk about the balance between light and dark tone. I hope they get the good tone between a balance between action and politics. And stuff like the Americans on FX, like those kind of elements. I hope that they can tie all that in and make it work to please everybody. Because if they can please everybody, they have a lot of demographics to please here, but if they can pull them all together, it's something very exciting, and it's a great new direction for the comic book genre. I love it. I think this looks fantastic. I love everybody who's in this movie, and I feel a little bad for Chris Evans that he continues to be, straitjacketed in this role because he's a funny, charismatic guy, and yet he's playing a real wooden guy. I mean, he doesn't. Hopefully, he has some good elements. Now, some of you have also mentioned you want more of the man out of time element. Maybe we'll see that in Captain America 3. That might also be touched on here. They have a lot on their plate, so if they can just handle what they have well, I'll be happy. The other thing that I want to say, though, is that I don't know how this movie can exist and also the S.H.I.E.L.D. television show. I don't know how you can have a S.H.I.E.L.D. movie series and a S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show when they're all apparently working in the same building, I guess, and not have them more heavily cross over. Maybe that will happen closer to when the movie comes out. I mean, you certainly don't have, I think Scarlett Johansson is an A-lister, arguably, but I think Chris Evans and Anthony Mackie maybe aren't above appearing on S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't know. I don't watch S.H.I.E.L.D., the television show, so this isn't a problem for me personally, but I wonder for people who watch both if it'll be a disjoint to have both universes both coexisting yet not overlapping somehow. So I don't know how they're going to handle that. I think they should just get rid of the S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show, but that's me. But write your thoughts down below what you think of this trailer, if you're as excited as I am, if you like the team, and you can check out some more reviews of Super Bowl trailers right now.